Welcome to New Business in Later Life, where we prove that it's never too late to pursue your entrepreneurial dreams. You will meet remarkable individuals who launch successful businesses over 50, sharing their stories, challenges, and enthusiasm. Your host, Ildiko, is a former social housing professional, textile designer, and teacher who described herself as a life artist. She is now a property professional, business network host, and facilitator of the Entrepreneurs Club. Subscribe now to hear these inspiring stories every week.
Yeah, we've all got, on my left shoulder, I'm pointing to now, we've got our bestie, yeah? Someone who knows everything about us, yeah? And sits there, but is great counsel, always there for support. Over on the...
They're not a good one to listen to because they will always encourage. Or sometimes maybe they will tell you when you're doing wrong, but otherwise they will
Most of the time they've got your back. They're your buddy, aren't they? If you go to the opposite shoulder, now touching my right shoulder, that's maybe your partner, yeah? And maybe in a relationship or someone that you know, or maybe even within a business structure. Someone who actually knows some stuff about you, but not everything that your bestie knows. What a mentor should be able to do is create a triangle. I'm pointing now to my head from my two shoulders. The mentor should sit there as non-judgmental, fully objective, listening to the views of the bestie, listening to the views of the partner, and then identifying where there's any gaps, and then filling in those gaps with other mentors. And we touched upon the article. There could be a need of a specialist mentor, yeah? So I'm working with a new client at the moment in the 2 and 3 now, in fact, in the dance sector, dance and fitness.
Interesting.
And they want to be the best dance and fitness in their area. And I said, well, what about having a specialist dance mentor? Well, who is the person that you would love just to be able to have the support of? And they go away and they come back and say, oh, this is the person I would love. And all 3 of them had different dancers that they wanted to reflect. I said, right, start to engage, start to follow, start to look where they dwell, start to look at things they're interested in, show them stuff that you're doing. One conversation with them might lead to you doing something differently, and more importantly, will stand you out from a crowd because you will be then the key person of influence in your market, and you will then no longer be competing against the competition. You'll be competing against the market of everybody that wants to do dance and fitness. So a specialist mentor, there are times it might be specialist in marketing or accountancy or tax or fiscal or engineering or manufacturing or construction or all of those individual specialisms. But sometimes we might need someone who's got a vast amount of wisdom, intellect, and also practical wisdom on being a specialist in that sector. We've mentioned the buddy mentor. We've also mentioned the partner. Unfortunately, they're normally right. It's just sometimes you need some non-objective, fully judgmental person to advise you. What we then also have, we touched upon earlier, is the polar mentor, someone literally who is your opposite.
And they are the ones who are probably the most important because they are the ones who are going to make you think outside the box. Yeah. Is that right? For
those listening, I'm now rocking like a Romanian chain bear. My polar opposite, I had a circumstance, this must have been in 2008. And I was working back in the supply chain and logistics. We were given a budget of 30 million euros to build this new thing. And we were halfway through the project and it looked as though it was going to be at 33 million. The French owners of the company turned around, no, this will not overspend. You need to sit in a room with your polar opposite. So just prior to Bristol Airport, there is a hotel. We were locked in a room there with only coffee and biscuits for, I think, just shy of 8 hours. I think about 7 hours we escaped.
That's a fair day.
Yeah, no phones, just charts, pens, and Post-it notes. My heaven. He came at it from a completely different perspective. He asked me questions I'd never even considered. He looked at things that I thought were completely outrageous, unreasonable, not practical. And as a result of that and my enthusiasm and ideas and having to stop talking and sitting on my hands and waiting for him, I'm rocking again, waiting for him to respond, we ended up, if you remember, I started at 30 million, it was going to 33. We left that room with a total budget spend of 4.7 million instead.
That's mental.